Hey Pisces, welcome to your weekly forecast for September 16th through the 22nd. We're going to get some messages for you for the week from this deck here, and then after we're going to pull a crystal for you from a crystal deck just to get an idea of what might be a good crystal for our Pisces friends to incorporate in the coming week. We had that full moon in Pisces. I am a Scorpio and it kicked my butt. So I'm curious how you Pisces are all doing. Hopefully you guys are okay. It was an emotional, I think a deeply emotional energy for a lot of people. And I know Pisces, you all are beautiful creatures, very in touch with your emotions, and you all are sensitive to moon energy like us water signs tend to be. I'm just curious if some of you really, really felt this Pisces moon as strongly as some of us Scorpios did. We're going to see what's coming up, though, for you in the week ahead for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Here is your Monday, Tuesday, your Wednesday, Thursday, and your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right, let's jump right on in, my darlings. Monday, Tuesday for Pisces, we have Hole in the Soul. That's interesting. You guys saw me shuffle. I shuffled a lot. Some of you were probably like, oh my God, lady, stop shuffling already and pull us some cards. So I want to emphasize that you all did see me shuffle a lot. This is the first card that came up for Sagittarius. So you may have Sagittarius in your moon or in your rising, and this is coming up as like a double message for you, or you may be dealing with a Sagittarius where maybe there's like this unhealthy dynamic that might be coming to the surface Monday, Tuesday. Not necessarily. Maybe you don't have Sagittarius in your chart, and maybe you're not dealing with a Sagittarius, but this could just be coming in for you on a personal level. Remember how I said this was a very, very intense moon for a lot of people? So as we're coming into the start of this new week, Pisces, you may be still in that heavy energy. You might be feeling like there's this void in your soul or in your spirit. Now, this isn't coming up to discourage you or to scare you or to put negativity out there for you. I will just go ahead and point out the number 36 here, okay? So 36 is a lot of you might be learning lessons having to do with finances. Maybe you've been chasing money, or you've been trying to find your self-worth in your job or in your career, and maybe you've accomplished some of those things, but it's still leaving you feeling empty, or maybe you just feel like you can't quite get to the level where you want to be. So if we reduce this number, 3 plus 6 equals 9, 9 is a number of enlightenment. You're starting to wake up and you're starting to realize, you know what? My career doesn't define me. What I have in the bank account doesn't define me. Okay, that's not what makes me a person. That's not what gives me value. So you might be now feeling kind of confused, like, okay, then what does? Like, who am I? If I'm not my job, or if I'm not my religion, or if I'm not my ethnicity, like, what am I? Like, as a person, what makes me me? So some of you might kind of be going through some identity things in that way. I'm going to go ahead and read the recommended action that the creator of the deck has for this card. So she says, find a safe place. Use colored pencils to draw several masks. Each mask needs to represent an aspect of your false self, such as a good girl or boy, a savior, a servant, a rebel, a victim, overachiever, etc., whatever you can think of, some roles you've felt you've had to play. Take time to write or draw the qualities you feel each false self contains. Turn on some powerful music, put on a mask, and move in a way you feel the mask requires for you to express yourself and feel the feelings you have suppressed. Once you have completed the dance, take off the physical mask and burn it. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. This is what the creator of the deck is recommending. If you want to take a screenshot of that and do it, or if you want to change it in some way, feel free to do that, because not all of us are going to feel like it's going to resonate with us to put on a mask and dance. If it feels with you, by all means, my darlings, do it. If you're burning anything, please, 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 I do not, and I repeat, I do not encourage you guys to burn anything, because it is not safe, especially if you're inside your apartment or inside your home. If you're going to burn anything, only do it in a place designated for fire. Okay, if there's like a fire pit, or some place where it's designated for things to be burned. Don't just like go out in your yard and set things on fire. You know, it's not a safe thing to do. What I'm gonna say is I really do like the idea of writing down these different kinds of aspects of like the roles you feel like you have to play, and then like release them. And you can tear it up and throw it away. You can do it through breath, you can do it through visualization. Again, if you feel like you want to burn something, I cannot stress enough, do not do it indoors. Use caution. Only use things that are meant for burning, like a fire pit or something. But I think this is a good time for you, Pisces, to start looking at the things that make you a good person, that you're proud of, that don't have to do with how much you make or how you were raised, or where you come from, but just as a person, the things about you that are loving and good as a person. Okay. Next we have Wednesday, Thursday, and it says have faith. So some of you are feeling a little bit discouraged right now, and some of you are feeling a little bit down because of the current energy. But remember how I said I felt like some of you were kind of waking up and having this enlightenment moment where you're like, oh my goodness, so I'm not my job, I'm not my ethnicity, I'm not my religion, and you might be feeling a little bit like trying to figure out who you are. This is saying that you might realize things about your faith or the religion that you were raised in that doesn't resonate with you anymore, or that you don't identify with anymore. And this is something very important, Pisces, that I want to share with you. I'm not a Pisces, and I don't want to make the weekly videos about me, but it's just something I wish I knew when I went through what this is kind of talking about. When you go through spiritual awakening and you begin to see some of the things that were taught to you in your childhood about the higher power, about God, about universe, you start seeing where some things don't make sense, or some accounts that may have been written in some spiritual books could not have happened, or you start feeling like some things were not told to you truthfully, or just you don't believe anymore. I cannot stress this enough. This does not mean that there is no higher power. This does not mean that there is no God. This does not mean that there is no powerful force of life in the universe. So what I'm going to say with the have faith is, this is the time for you, Pisces, to little by little meditate on what you believe God is, because I feel a lot of you are having this massive spiritual awakening where your concept of spirituality and your concept of God is changing, because you're realizing God is not some magical Santa Claus that sits on a throne in the sky just giving us everything that we ask for or everything that we pray for. And punishes bad people, because you're gonna see in your life, okay, there's some pretty lousy people and they're living pretty high life, they're living a pretty comfortable life, and you're gonna see good people who seem to be struggling, and you're gonna see things that maybe you have asked for that haven't happened yet. Okay, this does not mean that you were abandoned. Okay, it's a whole other subject, it's a whole other topic for me to get on. I don't know, maybe I need to start doing the radio show again, but I just want to say it's normal for you to feel these things or notice these things as you're waking up spiritually, but it does not mean that there's no God, or higher power, or whatever you want to call it. So try to take time to just find ways in which you can connect to love, because that's what the higher power is. Higher power is a source of love. So anything that you can do that can connect you with love that is other than romance, okay? So I'm not talking about hanging out with your boyfriend or girlfriend or your spouse, although that's a nice thing to do, but I want you to try to connect with love in other ways that do not involve sex or romance, okay? This is going to be very helpful in beginning to make the connection to that higher power. Your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is love. Oh my goodness. See, this is very interesting, Pisces, because it flat out came up for you as love. And those of you who watch my videos, you know I try not to focus on love and romance in the weekly forecasts. You know that I like to save that for the September love read or the monthly love readings, but love keeps coming up for a lot of the different signs. And I feel the reason for this is because of this Pisces full moon. And it you know, you guys are Pisces, and so you may have felt the moon a little bit stronger than the rest of us, but sure enough, my dears, here it is. Here it is as love. Okay, here it's showing up. Here is love. Here is your Friday, Saturday, Sunday energy. Okay, so you are going to be connecting with love, and you're going to be kind of comparing ways in which you're feeling love romantically and ways in which you're unable to feel love romantically. And you're going to be able to just kind of meditate and figure out why it is. Like, what is it that's blocking me from feeling this love? One of the biggest things that happens when people come to me for private readings, they're like, oh, you know, my spouse is wonderful, my spouse is great, but you know, I don't feel that spark in the relationship. Am I with the wrong person? Are they not my soulmate? And so people go on this quest to find the soulmate, only to go through soulmate after soulmate after soulmate, and none of them feel fulfilling. It doesn't mean that you're not finding your soulmates. We have many soulmates. It just means that you're not feeling the love because there's something within you that's blocking it. Okay, so I feel something is happening here where you're putting the dots together, right? Or somebody that maybe you're not married or in a relationship with, maybe there's someone that you feel you've been in love with for a very long time, and maybe you feel like they don't want you and you can't seem to get them out of your head. You're gonna figure out why it is that you have not yet been able to disconnect from that and to move past it to a new love. So those of you who've been trying really hard to get over someone, I feel like this is the time when you're going to start being able to get over that person. Those of you who are in a relationship where you're like, yeah, you know, it's not a bad relationship, but something is missing and I can't figure out what's missing and I can't figure out why I'm not feeling fulfilled. You're going to figure out what it is within yourself that might be making you feel that way. Like, you know, maybe you're going to start figuring out, you're going to see, you know what, it's not my partner, right? It's just hard for me to accept their love because I have this belief that, you know, it's like love is not going to work out for me or whatever it might be. You're going to start realizing what the things are within yourself that might be causing you to doubt your partner, you know. And this does not apply if you're in an abusive relationship. If you're in an abusive relationship where someone is abusing you and being toxic, then this is a time for you to work on loving yourself and having the courage to remove yourself from a dangerous situation so that you can have real love come in. Okay, we're going to go ahead and see what your crystal card is, my darlings. And don't forget, watch your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks those are going to resonate with you more than others. This week, since we're doing the crystal thing, maybe you can watch and maybe you can get a few different crystals instead of just one. And maybe work with some crystals in that way. All right. And of course, if you want to know more about which cards I use, there's always a link in the description of the video that will let you check out the cards I'm using. Improve timing, increase the occurrence of synchronistic opportunities, be inspired with creative ideas, develop understanding of various cultures and spiritual philosophies. So this is something that Spirit is going to help you cultivate in the week ahead or whenever you begin working with this crystal. And you have turquoise, okay? This may have come up again for Sagittarius or... yeah, I think it may have been for Sagittarius or Taurus, one or the other. So maybe some of you are dealing, like I said, maybe some of you are dealing with a Sagittarius. Not necessarily, but you do have some cards in common, I believe, this week. But turquoise is coming up as a powerful stone for you to work with. And the affirmation being given to you here is, I am always at the right place at the right time with the right people. How beautiful is that? Like, how many of us wouldn't love to manifest this? So turquoise is a great stone to incorporate in your manifestation. Here's a wonderful affirmation for you to put to use. Again, watch your moon sign, rising sign video. If you want more info on your love life, go ahead and check out the love readings for September. There's a link in the description. The October love readings are going to go up early this month. They're going to be up in the next few days. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Hit the notification bell and you'll get a notification when the October love readings are up. And if you need a private reading, just go ahead and click on the Calendly link. Real quick, guys, I just want to say for those of you booking a private reading, there's a new policy, okay? And that is that if you don't enter the information I'm asking for, I'm just gonna return your payment back to you and I'm going to cancel your reading. I'm gonna take it off calendar and then you'll have to go and rebook it, because I've been trying to email people and get the information, but it's been chaos and it's been taking a lot of time, and then the readings get backed up and then people are messaging me all mad like, where's my reading? And I'm here trying to put out fires and get everything organized and figure out which email goes to which reading. Okay, guys, I understand you're excited to book your reading. I understand you might be in a hurry to just hurry up and get it over with and enter everything. But if you can just please provide what I'm asking for, and make sure you put your phone number correct, make sure you put your email address correct, make sure that if I'm asking you for the name and date of birth, I'm not asking you to because I'm curious and because I'm nosy. I need the name, the first name, or at least a nickname, because there's a lot of energy in a person's name. And I want to be able to access that for you. Don't just put love. Don't just put health. I ask you, first of all, and don't do health. I don't do any health. I don't do any physical readings. But don't just put love or don't just put work. I just ask for a brief background of the situation. So if you're saying love, okay, love, comma, single, trying to find a relationship, I feel blocked in love. Or I am trying to figure out if I should stay in this relationship. You know, give me something like that. You don't have to feed me background information. You don't have to give me details. Just give me an idea of the situation. If you put work, what does that mean? Are you trying to start a business? Are you trying to do a career change? Have you been searching for a job for a long time and you're like, why can't I find a job? You know, give me a little bit like that, so that the time that you're buying for a reading, I can spend focusing on where things are going instead of first trying to figure out what's happening. Because I need to figure out what's happening before I can tell you what I see coming up. And that way I can give you way more in your reading instead of, you know, just kind of focusing on trying to figure out what's happening. So that would help me, help you, give you a better reading. And I just want everyone to be happy with their reading. So if you guys could do that, it would help more than you know, my dears. I thank you so much for reading, for watching, for liking, for commenting, for subscribing, for following on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm wishing you a fabulous week.